Ms. Aishwarya Raman ma'am, who's the Executive Director of OMI Foundation. Ma'am, kindly share your experience about how you are contributing in the sector.
So while the presentation loads, thank you so much ICAT, the Ministry of Heavy Industries, Policy Times for inviting me to present my views on how the EV sector can be India's next growth engine. Respected dignitaries on the stage and friends in the audience, thank you so much again for this opportunity as well as for your patience listening. I wish to specifically focus on feminizing the EV sector to propel India's growth. The electric mobility ecosystem, of course, is well poised for robust growth in the country and will emerge as a key employment generator. On World Day for Safety and Health at Work 2023, I'm honored to speak at the India EV seminar and highlight the historic opportunity the India EV ecosystem has for all of us. As we all know, and like rightly pointed out by the speakers before me, the promise of electric mobility in India is immense. Beyond Delhi, the growth for EV adoption is huge. Regardless of the size and characteristics of cities, the willingness to adopt EVs by denizens across the country is huge. Recently, OMI Foundation was able to release its flagship study called Ease of Moving Index, India Report 2022. The Ease of Moving Index is an evidence-based framework developed by us at OMI Foundation to measure and benchmark mobility in cities. Through the index, our organization endeavors to create mobility baselines for cities, benchmark improvements achieved on each mobility parameter over the years, with a special attention to electric mobility as well. And we found that cities like Ahmedabad, Jammu, and so many others that we studied demonstrated high willingness to adopt EVs. Our study, involving India's largest mobility survey, spans 40 cities across 25 states and 3 union territories, covering 110 plus indicators, metrics of mobility, 9 parameters, and is representative of 25% of India's urban population. Based on this study, we've been able to make EV-based and sustainable mobility-based recommendations to the cities themselves. But back to the topic on feminizing the EV ecosystem. Technology, charging infrastructure, sales, service, driving, recycling units, collection, disposal, and so much more. But where are our women? Traditional auto industry has seen higher share of women in electrical equipment and components manufacturing. But we are also seeing women break barriers in the 21st century, and we are seeing them present on the factory floor as well. Olaf Future Factory, for example, is the world's largest electric two-wheeler manufacturing plant, is fully powered by women. It currently employs 2,000 women and is strategically investing in training and upskilling over 10,000 women in core manufacturing expertise. Likewise, Ampere EV by Greaves was started by a remarkable woman in mobility and has 30% women workforce. Tata Motors, Mahindra & Mahindra, Hero MotoCorp, Bajaj, and so many others have introduced women-only assembly lines. Increasingly, such companies, including Mahindra Electric, Kinetic Green, CESL, are placing women in leadership positions. Where else are our women? Entrepreneurial opportunities are plenty. We have several companies, women-led startups that are supplying affordable portable chargers for EVs in many of our states. The Delhi government has reserved 33% of its permits for women drivers in the state. There's immense opportunity to feminize the entire EV ecosystem. For instance, Bharat Petroleum's all-women fuel station can be replicated across charging stations as well across the country. Clearly, EVs offer an opportunity to increase women in the economy, and this is much needed. For every 10 women in the working age group, only 2 women work in India. To increase women's participation in the workforce, education matters, but skill development matters even more. Studies find women who have attended skills training, both formal and informal, are more likely to be in the workforce regardless of their education levels. The NSDC, the National Skill Development Mission, the ASDC, and their many efforts have noted how skilling can be a game changer for women of India. Skill development and just transition from the ICE ecosystem to EVs is absolutely essential. As a country, we can consider two approaches to facilitate a just transition from the ICE sector to EVs. These can include targeting those skills that are transferable and those that are entirely new. ICE vehicles and EVs have some overlapping components in terms of R&D, manufacturing and service. For instance, in design, vehicle system engineering, which is simulation and modeling in ICE, would also be needed for EV designing, like battery weight or positioning. Similarly, in the software and domain as well, machine learning for connectivity, vehicle performance monitoring, etc., can be seen between both ICE industry as well as the EV sector. On the service front too, there are a lot of overlaps. Again, on the end-of-life management as well, new as well as continuing skills pertaining to collection, safe handling, recycling can be a focus area, and these are all avenues for us to explore how the transition can be more just. It is now time to scale the early victories we are achieving in the e-mobility domain and the larger green sector. Compared to manufacturing of ICE vehicles, which relies heavily on heavy machinery, EV companies are focused on electronics, assembly, software and design, skill sets that are more widely available among women. For every 10 new hires in the EV sector, 6 tend to be women skilled in business modeling, design redevelopment, e-mobility and renewable energy management. Going forward, what should India do? Incentivize skilling of women, particularly in STEM fields, and like Arindam sir mentioned earlier, beyond STEM as well. Foster academia and industry relations to create more courses on EVs. Incentivize OEMs, including startups, striving for gender parity in jobs through tax rebates. Incentivize hiring of women across the EV value chain. This will go a long way in ensuring their integration into the labor force. Provide accelerators, support and credit channels for women-led EV entrepreneurial opportunity. Recognition of such opportunities under dedicated MSME schemes could provide women with the much needed financial support and incentive in taking up roles in the EV revolution of the country. Learning from other models like the dual system for training initiative in Haryana, we could also look at replicating this within the EV ecosystem. The effort to create a world-class skilling program needs to start from the grassroots. India can take inspiration from plumbing institutes in Odisha and beyond and replicate that within the EV ecosystem. Overall, of course, India can transform itself to be a powerhouse of EV skills, and there is a great case to be made for feminizing this transition from day one. Thank you so much.